everyone, I am Mel, the Crazy Desert Knitter, welcoming all of you to the Crazy Desert Knitting Podcast. I am so glad you guys can be here today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. For all of you new Crazy Desert Knitters, welcome to the family. For all of you returning Crazy Desert Knitters, thank you guys so much for coming back. I am kind of excited to see you guys today. Off to the start here. I'm coming to you from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. And just to give you guys an idea, it's about 107 degrees outside today. Bam. So it's a little warm. So I have the fan going. And the window shades closed. Yeah. Number 2, am I wearing any knitwear today? No, I am not. I was out actually celebrating Father's Day with my father. So to all of you fathers out there, or all of you who forgot to give your dad a happy Father's Day, let him know. And it was just too warm to wear anything. It was just too hot. I don't actually even knit anything that's that light that actually fits. Yeah, my driftwood tee that I knit out of Southwest bamboo, 100% bamboo, is light enough, is beautiful. It's a little too big at this point in time. I've lost some weight since I originally knit it, and now it's just giant. So I gotta reknit that. What can I say? All right, so I'm not wearing any knitwear, so I do apologize. I will correct that next time. Just like I didn't wear any last time either. I don't have an excuse for last time. It wasn't that hot out yet. I can't say anything. So just to let you guys know, I anticipate this episode to be about 25-30 minutes long. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit fun, a little funky, a little weird, like normal. Okay, maybe not so fun and funky, but definitely weird, like normal. So there you go. What we're going to be talking about today is all of my current whips. And no, we have no completed projects. What can I say? All of those things that I'm hoping to come up next on my list of items. The very, very minuscule amount of stash enhancement that I've had, and then possibly what's going to come up next episode, depending on how things work. So, for all of you guys who are out there, grab yourselves your knitting, grab yourself a beverage, come on back and join me. Let's get started. All right, guys, so as I said, there are actually no completed projects this week. I didn't even complete the soap sacks. So I have no completed objects. I did wind up actually taking a break from knitting for like a weekend. And that's when I get a lot of my knitting time in, is over the weekend. I have been working some really crazy hours lately and some really weird hours, doing some really weird things. But I did take a break for a weekend and I actually went camping and I brought a project with me. Just didn't work on it. Gotta be honest, I was too busy laying by a lake. It was awesome. So I still have works in progress, and all of my works in progress have actually seen some movement on them. So the first one I'm going to share with you guys is currently living in my large Froggy project bag. This project bag was made by my mother for me, so in case anybody wants to know, I do not know where to get it. Can't tell you, sorry. Maybe I'll eventually figure out what the pattern name is for my mother, but that requires a lot of contact with her, so. And getting her to actually, answer the questions instead of, ooh, I like that, I want it. That kind of stuff. But I have made some massive progress on my Rhombi or Rhombi. Actually, stretch that out a little bit. I'm actually partway through a row, so I'm trying to be really careful. Sweater. And now this is by Terri Kruse. So again, this is Rhombi by Terri Kruse, or Rhombi by Terri Kruse. Check out the top for any names of patterns and things. They're also going to be listed in the description box below for anything that you guys want to know. So if I have specific names of yarns and things like that, they will be in the description box below, as well as the names of patterns and authors of said patterns. Okay, so this is Rhombi by Terri Kruse. Last time you guys saw me, I was about here. So I just finished, I was actually a little bit above there, but this was actually a good place for me to stick the marker. I had just finished the diamond pattern here in the middle. And then I knit a couple of rows of increases. Now I am on my I'm on my last row of increases before I split the arms off the sweater. So this is the back. This is the front. And it will be a short sleeved sweater, just so everybody can know. It is actually a short sleeve sweater. It's something that is actually fairly useful here in the valley during the winter months and summer months. You know, we take clothes off to go outside, but we put clothes on to go inside. So like we'll take like, you know, wear a tank top to go outside, but then we're freezing in stores because the air conditioning is turned up so high. So I thought a short sleeve sweater was a good idea. So this is Rhombi by Terri Kruse. So far, I'm really liking the pattern. Increases are fairly easy to follow. You know, she suggests putting in certain things. I am creating this out of Huasco Botanical Lace. Let me pull this out. So it's Huasco. There is the tag. Let me get it a little closer for you guys to read. There we go. And there is a 454 yards, 416 meters. It's a 100-gram ball. It's 100% extra fine merino wool. And it is color 23, dye lot 72. However, I don't think they make this color anymore. It is greens, yellows, and grays of varying shades. Obviously, you guys can see it better in here. I found this actually on a D-stash on eBay. I got 3 skeins of it for like $40. And if anybody has ever used this yarn, yes, it's a little more expensive. It's about $25 per skein. But again, you get 454 yards. They call this a fingering weight yarn depending on who you're talking to on Ravelry. Otherwise, it's also called a light sport weight yarn. For me, it actually gave me the perfect gauge for this, with the knowledge that I needed to go up a needle size. But so it gave me the perfect gauge, and I have some like really weird shadows floating around me right now. I do apologize, guys. Looks like I have little spots when I move. Okay, sorry. So it gave me the perfect gauge. So it's a little more on the sport weight side, I think, than it is on the true fingering weight side for socks. It'll give you a heavier pair of socks if that's what you guys are looking for. So I did the math and to knit the biggest size, because that's what I would wear. To knit the 2XL on pattern, you needed just under 1,200 yards. Or around, yeah, basically just under 1,200 yards, she said, for the largest size. If you made gauge, I have just over 1,300 yards. So I should be good. I'm always a chicken when it comes to yarn. I never want to run out when it comes to a garment. I cannot actually get any more of this. So once I'm done, basically. If it's a little short, it's a little short. I have no abilities to stop that. So I'm probably going to do my sleeves last. So if my sleeves are a little shorter, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to do everything else. However, based on math and based on how much I've used and where I'm at in the pattern, I should be okay. So once you finish your increases, you have to knit another like 4 or 5 rows or 4 or 5 inches. And I knit all of this with all the increases. That includes all the sleeves and everything out of 1 skein. I just hooked up my second skein of yarn 1 row back, 2 rows back. So I almost got all the increases, the tops and the sleeves all done at the same time. The sleeve knitting does require like an inch band of just garter stitch all around and around and around and around. But I don't know. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's a good majority. So from here to the end of your knitting is supposed to be about 12 inches. They anticipate it to grow a little bit further. If your yarn does not, and she even says this, if your yarn does not grow like hers did, do a swatch, you know, lay it out, block it, make sure it grew like she thought it was going to grow. I did my swatch. It's most likely going to grow perfectly fine based on history of me using this. I've used this yarn a couple of times for a few other things, and it grew nicely. Like it stretched a little bit, but not so much that it kind of lost all of its shape, if that makes any sense. But so far, really enjoying this. It's It's a dream to work with. I love this yarn. It has the perfect amount of twist. I don't know if you would call it a high twist, but it's definitely on the way towards a high twist. And it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous yarn to work with. It's easy to use. It doesn't come undone, all that stuff. So again, living in my frog project bag is my Rhombi sweater. It is awesome. I love it. Okay, next up on my list, I'm going to move my notes out of the way. And yes, I did actually make notes. Up next on our list is, ooh, yay, that's actually next, is the Time of the Doctor scarf by, I'm going to read her name. I'm really bad at this. Tess Campbell. So Time of the Doctor by Tess Campbell. This is the pattern. So it is a pattern based off of the Doctor Who. It's a famous TV show if anybody does not know. For everybody that does know, you guys completely understand Doctor Who. I have not worked on this in a while. I figured that this just took too much brain power. However, I did make a significant amount of progress since the last time I was here. So this little stitch marker, these bells down here, let me put this. This is living in my lovely blue flamingo bag because it's like my favorite bag in the whole wide world. Not my whole wide world, my favorite bag for stuff like this. So this, my little project keeper, I actually stuck it on the end. I don't know why, because it was in my way at one point. I have made a significant amount of progress. I did about approximately 1 full chart repeat since the last time I've seen you guys. So there's like basically the first chart. There's the second chart. The first chart ends like right here. So there's the second chart. I'm going to be working back at it. So that's the front side. This is the back. This is actually a double knit pattern. And it is the first double knit pattern that I have ever done. So far, it's really great. The pattern's well written, mostly because it's charting. And if you guys cannot read a chart, don't worry about it. It's not like you have to read stitches out of a chart. You have to read a color off a chart. So mine are dark and light, and that's it. So you know which color you're working with. Other than that, you're fine. You know, if it's not bad. There are some great YouTube videos out there to help you guys get started. I had a wonderful woman in my knitting group actually help me out. So thank you. You know who you are. So this is my Time of the Doctor scarf. La, la, la. So it did get a little bit faster. The only thing I have to say is this is an intense pattern. It is a very intense pattern. There's very little sections or lines with few color changes. I even broke mine up. So like if it's a 60 row pattern or a 50 row pattern, you know, I had chunks of 10 was a suggestion by somebody that was teaching me. And I liked it and it worked for me. So I put in stitch markers every 10. So I knew if I didn't wind up where I needed to wind up, I only had to go back 10. I didn't have to go back 50, you know? But even within a 10 stitch repeat, there is a lot of color changing for this particular pattern. You don't have big sections. Like this here is only like 2 rows of this. And this down here is not very long in this section either, where it's all one color. Or on the back, it's all one color, you know? So it's very labor intensive. It's really fun. It's really awesome, but it's very labor intensive. And it definitely takes a lot of concentration for me. I was having some problems with the concentration issue. So that's why I kind of switched back off and stopped doing it until I could focus on it again. So again, I'm about 1 3/4 charts into the pattern. There are 10 charts in total, and then a whole bunch of space in between that you got to knit. So again, I'm about 1 3/4 charts in, almost 2 charts. So this is how it looks so far. I got a little tighter as I went, but it will block out. So I got a little squooshed. It's been in there for a while. So I'm actually going to do my stash enhancement right now. I did actually purchase one thing, and it was a small tool. I had problems with the double knitting because I don't separate my yarn between these 2 fingers. I was keeping it all on here. And the reason why I don't separate it between my two fingers, like some double knitters do, is I actually use this finger here, my middle finger, my non-ring finger that I'm trying not to point at people, the bottom one here, because I use that actually to hold my needle. So when I've got stitches on my needle, I'm actually gonna opposite end of where I really want it to be, but when I'm knitting continental style, and yes, I can knit both ways, I actually hold my yarn in one finger and I hold my stitches with the other finger so they don't slide off the tip of my needles. I have a tendency to knit very close to the edge of my needles. I knit very tight, so that has a tendency to have stitches slipping off the edge, and I didn't want that, so I just use that as a grip finger. So now trying to retrain and use it as something else and use my next finger, it just wasn't working for me. So I went ahead and I purchased, I've seen these on like Ravelry and Knitter's Pride, and I've seen them on like a whole bunch of different places and suggestions from some people that I knew. I went ahead and I actually purchased this little ring. That's a horrible way to show you guys. So at the top, it's got a couple of loops so you can actually loop yarn into, and then it just slips on your finger like this. I'm hoping this is going to help keep things separated a little bit easier and make things a little bit faster. So this is my one true stash enhancement that I've actually held on to so far. I have not tried it. We will see. I bought this off of Amazon for like $1.50. So figure if it doesn't work, I'll gift it to somebody else out of my group that wants to try double knitting. Maybe it'll work for them. So this is my one true stash enhancement. Kind of thought I'd toss that in there. Okay. Time to the doctor. Tess Campbell. Really fun scarf so far. Little labor, like little intense because you actually have to focus. So on next to my next whip is the same whip as, again, last time. I was making 100 soap sacks for a friend of mine who was doing hygiene kits for the homeless. And so I was creating soap sacks. And my original set that I started with is I bought about 5 skeins of yarn from Hobby Lobby. It was called I Love This Cotton. Used that all up. Again, she wanted 100 of these. So I was whipping through them and I was like, oh my gosh, here I go. I got very burnt out on making soap sacks. I actually went ahead. This is currently on my hook, number 80. So this right here is number 80. This is actually 79. I obviously just started this one right here. This pattern here I'm using is from, look this up, make sure I get it right. Oh, okay. So it's from The Secret Yarnery. Go ahead and check it out. Last week's video has a link to the video tutorial that she shows using these. You can make them in varying sizes and weights of yarn. She kind of tells you how to scale up or scale down, depending on how you look at it. I actually wound up switching from the I Love This Cotton to 100% bamboo from Southwest Trading Company. This is the last skein I have of that as well. And again, I'm on number 80 right now. I can get to about 87, I think. 86, 87 with the yarn I have. I'm going to need to go out and buy some more yarn because I'm not going to make it to 100. This yarn is definitely a DK weight yarn. So these are made out of 100% bamboo instead of 100% cotton. It is 100% natural fiber, therefore it will dry. Bamboo will actually dry faster than the cotton will. Don't ask me why. But the ones out of bamboo, they were smaller, they were thinner, they required more stitches, and they required more rows. I went down a needle or a hook size and a half, so don't ask me what the hook size is because I don't know. That, and you guys would probably, whoever is out there that is a crocheter, I'm going to scoot just a little bit so that I don't have some funky light hitting me. Those of you who are out there that are crocheters, you probably crochet a little bit looser than I do. So again, I crochet like I knit, very tight. But this is, these feel great. They're awesome. I finally figured out how to make them the right size. But they do fit a bar of soap. I did actually go out and find a bar of soap in my house and actually slide them into the soap sacks. I have 80 of these that are currently uncompleted. And the reason why is I have all the pieces. So this is actually the tie, but nothing has been woven in. So like the ends haven't been woven in, the tie hasn't been woven in, and the only thing that's been woven in has been the very inside, and then that actually needs to be snipped off. Because I wound up knitting over it a couple of times, and that's how that got woven in. Or crocheted in a couple of times. I crocheted into a couple of times, sorry. I don't knit these, I crochet these. Yes, this is a crochet pattern. Again, The Secret Yarnery. Check out episode number 18. Hopefully I'll also link it down here in 19. Awesome tutorial. This is the first tutorial that I've actually understood when it comes to crochet. I'm not great at crochet, guys. I can do it in a straight line. That's about it. This is the first time somebody's actually been able to explain to me the whole circular thing. So bravo to her. She's also really fun to listen to. So if anybody wants to take a listen to her, it's awesome. So again, I'm on number 80. That's number 80. Boom. But that's about it. Okay. That is all my whips. Finally. All right, so you guys have now seen all my whips, and hopefully they will all be completed, including 100 soap sacks next episode. I'm also hoping to finish up the Rhombi sweater as well then, and hopefully make significant progress, at least be done with the first set of charts for my Time of the Doctor scarf. That one's gonna have to take a while, guys, because it is very intensive and I do need a break from it. But what I think might be coming up next on my list of things to do is possibly the Marsh Tea by Amy Palmer. Not a great picture of it, sorry guys. I've seen this actually made up already from a woman who actually was teaching me how to double knit. She actually has already created this top. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous, it is awesome, it is amazing. Possibly next on my list, scale pattern mittens. These are fingerless gloves. This is out of a Noro yarn pattern book that my aunt got many years ago, like 10 years ago. The funny thing is I bought some Noro yarn to actually make these mittens. Never made them. So maybe that's it. Maybe I need a really fast project. I don't know. The next two patterns also are possibly up next on my list is Convergence by Yumiko Alexander. Actually, I'm just going to show you guys the picture at the back. This is definitely something that I could see myself wearing. Woo, focus. This is actually something I could really see myself wearing. And I very much enjoyed my forest weave top that she made. And lastly, also by Yuma. Actually, no, I probably won't make that one next, so it doesn't matter. I'm also thinking about doing a hitchhiker. I got a couple of friends. I need some gifts things to knit, and the hitchhiker is actually pretty quick. It's pretty easy. It's pretty fast. I also need some baby sweaters. I need some baby booties. I need some extra little Converse. I need some more baby blankets. Whole bunch of little things that I could really, really use coming up soon because I know everybody's having babies galore. So I need to get started on those as well. All right, so those are pretty much the things that I'm thinking about. Maybe the cable dad hat, I don't know. We'll see when they come around. Let's see how much I actually get done, how much I hope to get done. This upcoming week, I actually have a lot of knitting time, so it's gonna be nice. And I think I'm actually gonna take a break from soap sacks for a while since I'm on number 80 for the last 20, just because it takes forever to do them at this pace that I'm going. So, okay, so you guys have actually seen, you guys are probably wondering, okay, was this lovely little ring my only stash enhancement? I did actually go ahead and purchase a Swift and a ball winder. The Swift came. My lesson, again, of you get what you pay for is definitely true on Amazon. I should have read the reviews a little bit closer. I bought a Swift. It doesn't actually spin. It was like one of the cheapest ones on the site. It was shipped here from far, far away, not actually sure where. It actually was a very good lesson again, that you get what you pay for. I set it up, it sets up, it stays together. It's a little rickety-er than the ones that I'm used to using before. But my biggest problem with it is it's very hard to spin. Like, I can't actually, like, I just tried to ball yarn, like hand ball yarn off of it. It doesn't really work. It takes a lot of effort to spin this one, much more so than the ones I've used in the past that friends have. I think things are just a little too tight, I think. The funny thing is I can I can unscrew the clamp from the umbrella and let that fall, and the umbrella is still standing. It doesn't move. That should tell me something right there. It means it's not well made. It's something's a little tight. If you you remove the clamp that holds the umbrella up, and it still stays perfectly fine, and it still spins perfectly fine. Like, if you can't get it to spin, it still keeps its shape and it stays where it's put. It doesn't shrink any. Good sign. I also did go ahead and order the Stanwood Jumbo Ball Winder. It is coming from Europe at the moment, and I don't know why it's coming from Europe, but it is. So it's not actually here yet. I ordered it a little bit later than I ordered the Swift, but hey, there you go. So those are a couple of things I hope to have sorted out by next episode or next month. I'm really hoping for that. Also, next episode, besides all of my hopefully completed projects, I will have some new projects to show you guys. So I think that's it. So hopefully I will see you guys back next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you guys would like to see more crazy desert knitting, go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. So until next time, this is Mel, the Crazy Desert Knitting, saying, just keep knitting, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.